What's going on, guys? My name is Marcel Flores from One Dapper Street. Welcome back to my channel, and today we have a guest on the show. This is not a show, it's a YouTube channel, but this is Brock, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Brock McGoff. I run The Modest Man. It's a website, YouTube channel, focused on men's style advice, a little bit of grooming, lifestyle advice, with a special emphasis on the men of modest height.
Modest height, and that's why we're here today. It's a topic that I can't particularly speak to because I'm 6'2". Brock, you're?
5'6" in shoes.
In shoes. I'm 6'2". I don't know. I'm 6'2". I don't make the difference, but
the things I would do with 6'2". You don't even understand.
Well, a lot of you guys have asked about tips for shorter guys when they're shopping, when they're styling themselves, when they're getting dressed, and I wanted to have an expert opinion, and that's why Brock is here. And we're gonna run through a few questions just about you at first, and then a few questions. I'm basically channeling your guys' questions, and Brock is gonna do his best answering them.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's gonna do a fantastic
Thanks
job.
for having me on the show.
On the show. I like this. We should make this a thing. Let's jump in. Brock, who are you? Where'd you come from? And why are you running a YouTube channel and a website?
Yeah, great questions. I actually don't have like a formal background in fashion at all. I'd say why I started writing. So I first started with a blog and then eventually started the YouTube channel. And I started because I was working in like a corporate marketing job out of college, and I didn't care about style at all. And it showed, you know, like you could tell. And I kind of looked young anyway, so, you know, when you're working, you're trying to get promotions and stuff, and you want to be taken seriously by clients, especially if you work young, it's important to present yourself in a certain way.
Clothes make the man, right?
They really do, yeah. And you know, people kind of judge us, you know, based on what we look like, at least off the bat before they get to know us. And so I was in this corporate environment and I was not well dressed, and it kind of started to dawn on me that it was sort of holding me back, I'd say, from kind of being taken seriously and advancing in my career. And so I decided I was going to improve my style. I was going to learn how to dress like a man, you know?
Okay.
And so what I started to do, the mistake I made is I started to spend more money on clothes and buy nicer clothes. But what I didn't realize is that my clothes didn't fit. And the reason they didn't fit is because of my build. I don't have an off-the-rack build.
Yes.
You know, 5'6", 120 pounds. And so that kind of sent me into this world of like learning about you know, fit and tailoring and how to wear clothes that really flatter my build.
So a really important lesson right here is money can't buy you style. Like you have to actually invest. Like you said, fit is king. It's the most important thing.
Yeah. And
that's especially when you can't fit clothes off the rack. I get lucky. Most of the stuff fits off the rack, but even I go to the tailor more often than probably 98% of the male population.
Right.
Just in general. Yeah. So with that, what do you keep in mind when you go shopping?
I think for me, fit is definitely the top priority. Inside of that, like under the fit umbrella, length is a big one.
Right.
And so like the obvious stuff is like pants. You know, like you buy a pair of jeans, got to get it hemmed. Like if you're say 5'5", 5'6", like, and you buy a 30-30, that's going to be a couple inches too long for you.
Okay.
You know, so that's kind of the basics, but it's everything. You know, it's the sleeve length on a button-up shirt or on a jacket. It's the body length of even like knits, like polos and t-shirts.
Right.
The torso length of the jacket. Length is kind of the big one that you want to look out for. Sometimes you can fix at the tailor, sometimes you can't.
Definitely understand length is number one, but I feel like that's one of the more obvious ones, and you've been doing this for a while. What are some like the things that you wouldn't necessarily think about?
Sure, yeah.
Shopping?
So you got to know what can be tailored and what can't, right? So if you don't have a good tailor, you know, go find a good tailor and visit them often. You know, just feel like your barber. You know, you're there regularly.
Or your best friend.
Right, or your only friend. You know, I mean,
let's hope not. Jesus Christ, if you dress well, you have more friends.
Yeah, my tailor is a good friend, but you know, I'm there once a month. But you know, certain things like you can get a shirt taken in, right? And I do get most shirts, like button-up shirts, dress shirts, taken in the sides. You can get sleeves shortened, but if it doesn't fit in the shoulders, you can't really fix that, you know, or if you can, it's going to be expensive, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're trying on a jacket or a shirt or something, like make sure those shoulder seams are perfect, and then you can always get those little things like the width and the length fixed up at the tailor.
Cool, right on. So with that in mind, what are your prime destinations? Like where do you go where you know, okay, I'll fit most of this, not off the rack, but like that's where I'm going to have the least to worry about when it comes to tailoring?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it takes a lot of trial and error, I think, to find the brands that are really going to work, for your build.
Right.
For me, I found that we're kind of lucky these days. We actually have like a few options that are body type specific. So
Okay.
there are a handful of brands out there that are focusing on guys who are below average height.
What are those? That's the hot information. That's
Yeah,
what we need to know.
yeah. So one of my favorites is Peter Manning NYC. They have a physical shop here in New York, and then they sell online. And I like them because they have everything from t-shirts to suits and tuxedos. So it's the whole range. If you live in LA, you can go to a place called Jimmy Au's.
Jimmy Au's?
Jimmy Au's, yep.
How do you spell that?
AU''S.
Okay.
Yep, and old school LA clothier that focuses on guys who are under 5'8".
Cool.
So that's another great option. And then you don't have to be limited to those brands. You can go to your J. Crews, your Uniqlo's, or whatever your budget fits, and just make sure to kind of add in a little bit of extra cost for that tailoring. So if you love J. Crew, try to buy it on sale so you can spend a little bit extra money at the tailor.
Yeah, and that's actually, I mentioned it recently in my Uniqlo haul. If you haven't seen that, you can check that out. Somewhere over there. They offer free hemming, right? So the jeans they all come in a 34 length, and I was really confused by that until I read all the signs that I'd seen so many times before. I was like, oh, cool, you can literally just get them hemmed for free. So that's a really good option that I even could think of for shorter guys to actually, save some money on the clothes in the first place, but then also on the tailoring, right?
Yeah, and a lot of stores just ask them because like Nordstrom's and a lot of those big brands, they'll do those basic alterations on premises, and sometimes they'll even be included in the price.
Cool. So with suits in particular, do you like going online? Because I know that by now there's a lot of really great custom suit shops that offer them at a really affordable price, so you still prefer the in-store experience to ensure that everything just fits perfectly for your frame and your build.
I like custom. Yeah, I like shopping online for suits. A lot of great custom options these days. Some of them have, stores you can go to get measured. Some of them you submit your own measurements, but I think it's a great option for anybody who has a difficult time finding something off the rack in a store. Now, that said, I think it's still a little easier to go to the store first. So if you can find a brand like Suit Supply, Peter Manning, even like the J. Crew Ludlow line that
Beautiful suits.
Right. And sometimes 34 short might fit you. Maybe you just need it taken in. You just need the sleeve shortened a little bit.
Right.
That's a good first option. But if that really doesn't work out, which is usually the case for me, custom's the way to go.
Cool. Yeah, right on. So, and then we touched upon tailoring a lot already. I think it's just one of the biggest parts of this entire video. I think you need to have a friend that's a tailor, or a tailor that becomes a friend.
Yeah.
How did you find a good tailor? Like, have you tried a few that you worked through until somebody really understood what you wanted, or did you just work with one that you kept going to until he really got your aesthetic?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'd say sometimes you have to try a few. For me, when I moved a couple years ago, and so I left my tailor that I had and trusted, so I had to find a new one. And
it's like losing a loved one. That's crazy.
It's like a breakup, It's like you can't do the long distance thing. So yeah, you got to test them out, So don't bring them a suit to really do surgery on a suit. Bring them a pair of jeans, have them hem a pair of jeans, make sure they do a good job. Maybe bring them a button-up shirt, have them take it in, and if they do a good job on those basic alterations, you can probably trust them with some more advanced and more expensive stuff.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's my personal experience as well. Doesn't necessarily matter the height. You want to kind of establish the relationship and see whether they actually are. I've gone to a couple of tailors. I feel like they were just rude for one.
Yeah.
And then they just didn't get what I wanted, and then I had to pay for it. And they're like, "Yeah, no, this is what you said you want." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure that's not what I said." But
right. Or sometimes they might have an opinion about how something should fit. And obviously this stuff is subjective, so maybe you like a more reduced leg opening than they like, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're the customer, you're paying them, so they should do kind of what you want.
Exactly. Okay, this is everything that's just the clothes that we already have in our closet to make fit on your body. Let's talk about something that actually gives you height or makes you look taller. What's your opinion on the polarizing elevator shoes?
Elevator shoes. Yeah, definitely polarizing. So I think if you want to wear elevator shoes, that's totally fine. You should go for it. Personally, I don't wear them because I think they're uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
And if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever tried them.
I haven't tried them. Yeah. No, I've looked at them. I haven't tried them on though.
Well, if you try them on, it's basically the way they work is it's as if you have this wedge insert in your shoe, and so it's kind of like wearing what I imagine wearing high heels would be like, where your heel is kind of up above your toes, and so it changes the way you walk. And frankly, I just think it's uncomfortable. Okay. So for that reason, I don't wear them.
Interesting. So does that apply if you were to say for example, Saint Laurent boots have a really high heel? So it's on the outside, not with the inside wedge. Have you experimented with like more higher heel boot? I mean, I feel like that's not, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, and that's totally cool. Like, if you can wear a Goodyear Welt work boot, or a Chelsea boot that happens to have an 1.5 inch like height boost, that's great.
Yeah, why not?
But that's different from like an elevator shoe, which has this like very unique shape to it.
Okay, cool. So what are some of the other ways that you think about the outfit? Like some styles that work that just make you seem a bit taller, like the whole stripes situation. Do you take advantage of that?
So with the whole stripes thing and like patterns in general, so I don't think it's as much like what type of patterns you're wearing. I think it's the scale of the pattern. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you like checks, for example, or
small check.
Yeah, right. Small check
scale
versus big checks, right? Yeah. Even horizontal stripes, like small, thin horizontal stripes are going to look fine. They're not going to make you look short or anything. I don't think short guys have to walk around in like pinstripe suits and platform shoes to look tall.
That's actually it's true. Even in my head just now, like in my mind's eye, that didn't really work out. Like with the broad.
Right.
Interesting. But that's more so avoiding looking even shorter. Anything that you do that makes you actively look taller, like slim silhouettes. Does that like slimming that down or?
Yes, slim fit for sure. Like I'd say kind of depends on your build, because not all short guys are slim, or you have some guys with 5'4" built like a bodybuilder, right? I think no matter what kind of build you have though, it's kind of about like trimming the fat. So like avoiding like baggy clothes and like a lot of excess fabric.
Okay, right on.
I got one more.
You got one more?
For looking taller, yeah. So so here's the like once you kind of understand fit and stuff, think about color. And it's not about like your skin tone or which colors you should wear, although if you're confused about that, you should watch that video.
Well, actually, so if you guys may have heard about Brock on my channel before, because I referenced his color video, which was fantastic. I learned a lot and then implemented that knowledge in my video about color. So I'll leave the link to both videos down below. That's why he sounds like he knows what he's talking about, because you really went deep into the topic of colors. But
yeah, went way deep, and that stuff, and it's good to know, like what kind of skin tone you have and like what colors look good. But regardless of that, think about contrast. So think about like your overall figure. You kind of have your top half and your bottom half.
Right.
And so what I try to do is I try to avoid contrast between my top and bottom half when I'm putting together an outfit, because I think it kind of cuts you in half visually. So if you think about like a white t-shirt, black jeans, it's like two blocks, one on top of another. But if you wear like a gray t-shirt and blue jeans, that's much more streamlined.
Right on. So you wouldn't, even with a belt, you probably wouldn't go for a high contrast belt. You try and get something that's a little bit more muted, that blends in with the outfit for the same reason.
Absolutely, yeah. And like with suits, like custom suits especially, I'd go for side adjusters and just ditch the belt altogether.
Yeah, personal preference of mine too. A lot of you guys ask always like, oh, you're wearing a suit, where's your belt? It's a look, it's modern, and you seem to prefer it, I seem to prefer it as well. So that's really cool. Right on. Anything else that comes to mind that you want to send out to the world?
Yeah, so I'd say one more thing.
Yeah.
Think about proportion too. So with your accessories, like your ties, your watches and stuff, scale everything kind of down to your build. So like I'm a smaller guy, I wear smaller watches, I do 4-in-hand knots, try to wear shorter ties. So just kind of think about everything in proportion with your build, especially when it comes to your accessories.
Right on. Cool. Well, thank you very much, man. I learned a lot. So next time that somebody asks me, for one, I'm going to send them a link to this video, because like that was great.
Yeah.
But two, I also will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me on.
Pleasure. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any more questions for me or for Brock, leave comments down below. We'll make sure to hop into the comment section and like start the discussion with you guys. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to change that. And if you haven't checked out his yet, you should definitely do that and subscribe to his as well. And turn on the post notifications, because you don't want to miss any of the videos coming up. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, stay dapper.